Howdy folks, you're watching Deuce. This video is going to be an unusual video for me because it involves my process down a rabbit hole of 3D printable utility knives. I know that sounds like an oxymoron to me, and I'm sure it did to you too. The first time I heard about that being an option was from AVE, you know, the magical hands guy that's always reviewing tools. Well, he invented a metal utility knife that is super expensive. I can't afford it. But he also offers a downloadable 3D printable version of that exact utility knife. And I had to download it and try it out for myself. Now, this is not an easy print. There are some prints that are really maximized for easy printability. This is not one of them. This is basically a one-to-one copy of his metal version, which of course is not 3D printed. After many trials and tribulations, I did get one to print and it printed pretty well. So I'm going to fully review this guy as well as other 3D printable utility knives that the site Thingiverse, which is where you can download free 3D printed software to print your own little designs. Well, they also will have an algorithm that will recommend you certain products. And once I downloaded this, they decided I was only about 3D printable utility knives. So I downloaded a couple of those examples as well, and we're going to review those as well. By the way, the M1 Grand in the back is called Foreshadowing for a future video, so stay tuned for that. After cleaning up all the supports there, you got all this debris left over, and I had to do a little bit of shenanigans with my friend Map Gas here to kind of soften the edges and kind of manipulate it a little bit. It seems to work. So you end up with the main body and three little gizmos here. Let's go ahead and put this sucker together and we'll see how she works. Now the Bella Ball, of course, is the 25mm blade there. I like the nice blued ones. They really do stand up to lots of punishment. You take the little top hat guy there. You put that pin through the hole in the blade and go ahead and slide that sucker into, I think that's the front, into your handle. This is kind of rudimentary spring. Is it great? No. Does it work? Yes. And we got the nubbin there. And boom, we have, listen to that. That actually works. Two things I don't like about this. Number one is the flex. It's got a lot of flex in there. If you squeeze it really hard, it is hard to move the blade up and down. So there's a lot of flex there, which means it's probably weak. And you can't put too much strain and pressure on this. Not like one of these big old boys. And there's no stops. There's no stops. So if you get overzealous in moving your blade up or down, so you can go ahead and pull it right back into your hand if you are not careful. So that is not a good idea to be handing out to your boys in the field there. OSHA will have a field day with that. But for something just to hold a blade and occasionally cut some string on a box, this will do. Now this will do better. So this guy's all metal. It's got a plastic handle, of course, but it's all metal internals. And you can tighten it down really good. And you cannot make it come out the back end onto your palm of your hand, so you're not slicing open your hand. Truth be told, this is basically just meant to emulate his stainless steel version and his titanium version, not to be a really good utility knife, because they have much better utility knife handles out there on the interwebs to download for free. These better options use these little utility blades like this, those little throwaway jobs, not the snap knife types. I located the best two versions of the 3D printable utility knives, and I downloaded them. I'll put links down below as well. The first one is this one right here. This one took a lot of tweaking to get it to work right, and it still doesn't work quite like I would want it to. And then we have this one. This one is the bee's knees. This is the one you want to download. First, this guy right here. It was not really set up to print very well. That's the ugliest print I've ever done right there. I don't know why it printed that poorly. The green slider notches onto the blade right there, and it slides into the handle. The handle is overly tight. I don't like how tight it is. You don't need to be forcing or fighting a very sharp razor style blade. So that's a lot of effort there just to get this thing to get down in there, and it is safe. That is safe from everything, and it has a rope cutter, which is cool. It works with a lot of tweaking. You can get this to work fantastically well, and it would be okay. But it is not as good as what I'm about to show you. Here is the best 3D printable design for utility knives right there. Here's a slider that goes inside the handle. You got the blade. It's got two little notches right there. Snaps right in. You can hear it actually snap in. There, you heard it snap in. And now it just slides in here, and everything is spring-loaded from the plastic itself. So you push that notch down. Boom. There we go. That's all it is right there. Look at that. And you can hear it snap in. It's got a little spring load right there as well. So there we go. There we go. There's even a locking model that uses this little notch down here, and it locks the blade back. I don't think it locks it forward, but it does lock it back. Anything you need a small handheld razor blade for, here you go right here. This is basically the thing you want. I mean, look at that. It's right there. I mean, it did collapse when I threw it against there, so it's not super rock solid. This is not a Leatherman. This is not a Swiss Army knife. This is a 3D printed utility knife. It's not even as good as the very cheap Husky one that has a locking blade. This has a locking blade, which is nice, which is why I bought it. Plus, I think this might have been made in the US. I can't remember. The blades are made in the US. Husky, at least when I bought these, the Husky brand was made in the US. So you could buy USA made blades from Home Depot. You could buy your filament from a US supplier, and you could have pretty much a USA made utility knife. Oh yeah, forgot to mention, this thing probably cost me about 30 cents total. The blades are roughly like 10, 15 cents a piece, and I've got about 15 cents in filament printing off both the handle and the little slider piece. Well guys, that's it for me today. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give me a like, go subscribe. A lot more is on the way. I'll leave links to all the files that I used today. They're free to download, so these don't cost you a penny. The blades cost you almost nothing from Home Depot or Lowe's. If you have any comments, questions, or show ideas, leave that down in comments down below. I try to answer as many of those comments as possible. If you like the video, like the channel, go ahead and hit that like and hit that subscribe button. If you want to see more of this, I try to upload at least once a week. And as always, you guys have a great day. See ya.